Okay.
So just focus down.
What makes Andela epic? The people.
You're given the opportunity to grow into whatever your potential really is.
It invites innovation, talent, and diversity.
Andela was born of a simple premise. Brilliance is evenly distributed, but opportunity isn't. Our mission is to connect talented individuals to roles that can be done anywhere you want to be.
Andela supports work-life balance by providing opportunity to work absolutely remote, and it gives us an opportunity to have a family life, have a personal life, and still be extraordinary in impacting the lives of our talent and our clients.
I really got hooked on Andela when I heard about the mission. Connecting brilliance to opportunity, regardless of race, gender, or geography. That got me hooked.
I have joined Andela as I come from Brazil, and I have been impacted directly by being connected to opportunity that wouldn't exist otherwise in my local country.
What do I love most about my team and department? The people.
Everyone just works together so well. They really respect one another's opinions, and it truly feels kind of like a family. It feels like home.
We act as one group, one team, and we all help each other succeed.
Why should I join Andela? It's a great question. I would turn it around and say, why wouldn't you join Andela? We have brilliant people that you get to work with every day. We have a mission that is at the core of every single person who works here. And every day you learn something new and you have a new challenge. And at the end of the day, you're making the world a better place. One moment, one meeting, one laugh at a time.
So what made me join Andela? A legal statement in my job description. The legal statement was all about why we want you here. And it was all about all the traits and characteristics that make up humans. And when I read that equal opportunity legal statement, I actually got a tear in my eye. And it ended with, Andela is home for all. Come as you are. And I knew that I was home at Andela.
How would you describe Andela in one word? Diverse.
Collaboration. We solve solutions together.
Flexibility. I would say inventive.
Brilliance.
Opportunity.
Epic.
The future of work.
Innovative. Impactful.
Hope. Hope that when I look back on my life, I can see that I have done something meaningful with it.
You're not discriminated on your age or race or color or tribe, or whether you're male or female. You just come there and you're a superstar doing your thing and making an impact globally. That's Andela.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Rosario. I am Talent Marketing Coordinator at Andela. So who are we? What's Andela? Some of you may have seen the video and may know us already. First time for others. So Andela can be presented as a talent marketplace, a talent network that helps technologists find good jobs at top-class companies. But we like to say that we are a lot more than that. Andela recognizes the brilliance in people and connects that brilliant mind with an opportunity. It provides support and community to help you grow and expand your career. Andela gives you access to exclusive long-term opportunities, a global talent community where you will find mentorship, ideas, and the opportunity to speak up, smart role matching, flexibility, and educational advancement opportunities. So why are we here today? At Andela, we are also committed to gender equality and empowering women to take center stage. We know the technology industry is a male-dominated field, so we understand how difficult it can be for women to gain the recognition and success they deserve. So we have created the Women Live Women webinar series to offer every female technologist the chance to learn from the best. So without further details about Andela, I would like to introduce our first speaker of this amazing initiative. Patricia is a program manager, highly skilled in agile project methodologies, service delivery, and customer relationship management. For the last 6 years, Patricia has worked with global impact investment companies that focus on providing dignified work through online digital employment to talented people all around the world. Patricia is a passionate woman about empowering other women and raising leaders to solve challenges in their communities. She's also very well equipped with skills from leadership programs, programs like the Young African Leadership Initiative, the YA program run by the African Management Initiative, the Growing Leaders program, the TAC conference. So welcome, Patricia, and thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much, Rosario. I am excited to be here to get to share on this topic, which I'm very passionate about, which is leading remote teams and meetings. So I hope you're excited as well. And one of the things I like to do is to learn where you're coming from. I would like you to type in the chat where you're coming from and what is interesting about your location. And I am going to be sharing more about my location as well. So let's get into it. I am currently is approximately 200 kilometers away from the main city of Nairobi. And three interesting facts about this region is that first, there's a lot of tea. If you like having your tea in the morning, I personally like my tea black. This is a place you would enjoy visiting because it produces more than 350,000 tons of black tea every year. Something else that's very interesting about this area is that rain falls throughout the year. It's actually raining at this particular time, so a true testament to the climate of this particular area. And the third thing is that whenever you visit this area, the locals are likely to welcome you with a fermented drink called mursik, and it is preserved in gourds lined with specially ground fine charcoal from select trees that give it a very unique smoky flavor. So I see some of your chats coming in. Asma, you're saying that you're currently in Egypt, which is fantastic. Good to see that. I see a few of you saying that you're coming from Kenya, Uganda, DRC, Brazil. Fantastic. Nigeria, a very good representation and a true testament to working remotely and how connected we can truly remain. Now, let's see what we're going to be looking at this particular time. Today's agenda and topics are, first of all, we're going to do an overview of remote work. The second one, we are going to look at building trusting teams, go into the effect of celebration, diversity and cross-cultural teams, and finally, the power of rest. I don't want to touch on these topics before we get into them, but I hope this highlight is enough to keep you motivated and going. So let's see how remote work came to be. So when we talk about remote work, can you believe it that remote work started all the way in the 1970s? Yes, and it started as a work from home experiment with IBM. They sent a couple of engineers to start working from home. And when that happened, more and more people went to work from home after that. So in the 90s, this particular age was known as the information age, and there were a lot of startups that were coming up. And because cost was a main issue, people opted to start working from home in order to save on expenses and to keep those costs low. And between the year 2010 to 2022, there was a 400% increase in the number of people working from home. And then COVID-19 pandemic hit and millions of workers began remote working for the first time. When we look into the future, it's predicted that 25% of all professional jobs will be remote by the end of 2023. So can you let us know in the comments whether you're currently working from home? Is this something you look forward to actually doing? What is your current status when it comes to remote working? Personally, I'm working from home. I've been working from home since 2020. So I was one of those people who, benefited from that shift that happened during the COVID-19 pandemic. And I am loving it and enjoying it. Asma also says that she's working from home and enjoying it. I see somebody else says that she's working from the office and she hopes to shift to be working from home very soon. Yes, I celebrate with you there, Gladys, seeing that. Rosario says she's working from home 100%. Yay, Rosario. And she's working from Argentina. Good to see that, and thank you for sharing. Now, let's see more statistics, especially as it happens around data on women and remote working. Some very interesting facts here that 26% of women are more likely to apply to remote jobs than men. This is according to a 2021 LinkedIn study. And this is because women are still primarily bear a lot of responsibilities when it comes to childcare and also taking care of the elderly at home. Another interesting fact is that 68% of women prefer working exclusively remotely compared to 57% of their male counterparts, according to FlexJobs. And then 53% of stay-at-home moms accept jobs with flexible work schedules. This is according to Gallup. And when we see these numbers, what comes to mind? It's very clear that women are preferring working from home because of their ability to be able to be close to other responsibilities that they have also at their home places. Now, let's see the pros and the cons of working from home. One of the pros is reduced commute time. So the only commute you need to make is from your sleeping area to your working area, which reduces stress, according to research, in employees, allowing for more productivity and less work-related negativity. Another pro is that productivity increases. So research has shown that increased overall work performance is linked to remote working, as well as increased motivation and creativity. And something else is that the talent pool expands, as we've seen from everybody who shared where they're working from. People are working from all around the world. We end up with a well-rounded group of professionals who we can innovate with. Some cons are time zone differences. You may find that your colleague is working from a very different time zone from yours, and you need to learn how to navigate that and collaborate effectively. Another one is technical issues. You may be in the middle of a meeting and all of a sudden you're having an issue with your internet, your laptop, and this can pose a challenge, especially with regards to security, because a lot of data is also being exposed online. And then we also have cultural differences. So workplace expectations and cultural norms can differ greatly in different countries, and we're going to be learning how to navigate this type of occurrences when they do occur. Now, let's look at the first thing that we need to have in mind when we're working remotely, which is building trusting teams. I talked with one of the senior leaders here at Andela. She manages our team over at the business delivery. And as we were having this discussion with her, I asked her, can you please share more about building trusting teams? And I would like you to listen directly from her because she has years of experience when it comes to dealing with this topic.
Patricia asked me to share a story that I had told her last week about personal connection with a woman at my last company. And so I wanted to just take a minute to share with all of you. So there was one senior leader in the group of senior leaders at my last company. All of the rest were men. And as part of the company culture, she had taken on a pretty hardened exterior and really was a bit standoffish. And so we sat on the exact same floor, corner, just I could see her office from my office. And we never connected. I would try. I continued to feel she didn't even know I existed. And it kind of was getting me a little down. And so one day, like at many other days previously, we found ourselves in the bathroom at the same moment washing her hands. And she looked over and she goes, that outfit really suits you. And I was, one, shocked that she was even acknowledging me because of so many times that she hadn't. And two, just taken aback that she had taken that moment to actually try and connect with me. She could have easily ignored me as she had other times. I could have not said anything to her like I had many times. But the fact that she reached out and she connected to me on that level opened the door for many future comments about, oh, hey, you look suntanned. Did you just come back from a holiday? Or, hey, you were here late last night. I saw your light on in your office. And you know what? It was just that one icebreaker and that one little comment that opened the door for that personal connection that I felt with her moving forward. And I've tried to take that forward in my approach in a remote world, where especially on large meetings, I'll look through the participants and I'll reach out to someone who I'm familiar with, but I haven't necessarily seen or interacted with in recent history. And I'll reach out to them on Slack and just say, hey, it's so nice to see you. How are things going? The last time I talked to you, you were getting ready to go on a holiday. How was it? And I think, it's just those little connections that are such a small effort on our part, but could mean the world to someone else and could just change their entire, not only their day, making someone's day, but changing the way you interact with them for the rest of your time together.
Fantastic. And this video with Lori resonates with me so much because I find myself wanting to build trust with colleagues remotely. And I'm wondering, what is that one thing you do on your end to build trust with your colleagues, especially if you work remotely? One thing that I like doing when I see somebody new has joined the team is reach out to them via Slack or whichever messaging platform you use at your workplace and just say, hi, welcome to the team. This is my name. I work in business delivery department. If you need any help, feel free to reach out to me. And I recently did that with one of my colleagues who joined, who is also called Patricia. And we started an entirely, unique, exciting conversation around our name, around how we can continue to connect and to assist each other here at work and work collaboratively. So I'm very keen on hearing what you do on your end. So Asma says that she shares what she did over the weekend, and I bet the other person also gets to share what they did around the weekend, and that builds trust. I see somebody else, Eunice, sharing that they check on colleagues without a work-related reason. That's a good one. That's a good one. I really like it. Rosario says she sets up one-on-ones to introduce herself and get to know the other person. No work stuff, only who we are and what we like. Awesome, incredible. And you find that it's those simple things that get to show the person that you're really interested in knowing more about them, building trust in the workplace. And I would like to share with you some more tips around how you can continue to build trust with your colleagues. And these tips are based around 3 pillars. The first pillar is benevolence. The second one is competence and integrity. I'm first of all going to share what you can do as a leader of teams, and then I'll share what you can do as a leader of self, as an individual contributor on a team. As a leader of teams, you need to first of all demonstrate care to the team, listen and communicate, and ensure that the individual feels heard and understood. The other thing and the other tip you can do is to help the team accomplish the key responsibilities through equipping them with information and confidence. One of the things I like to do over my years of managing teams is share interesting articles I've come across with the team just to ensure that they're keeping up to date, building their skills, and also having the correct skills they need to be able to do their job. And finally, lead with trust and mutual respect. Communicate values, objectives, and needs. As a leader of self, it's always good to check in with those around you, build meaningful relationships through genuine concern for and the well-being of your colleagues. After the weekend, one thing I like to do is to share how my weekend was, and also ask my colleagues how their weekend has been. It's a practice that I kept through, and I've been keeping through my career. So you can always message a person directly and ask them, how was your weekend? What is one of the things that you enjoyed? And also share how your weekend went along. You can plan and execute well, identify important versus urgent tasks, schedule when you need to complete tasks, and estimate the effort required. Competency and demonstrating that you can do your work is very key. And one of the things you can do here is to always check your tasks and your schedule ahead of the week and plan accordingly in order to be able to deliver that. In terms of integrity, you need to stay aligned with your personal and work values. When mistakes happen, flag them early and often solve them together with the people who are around you, including your coach and your manager. Now that we've looked at building trusting teams, something else that we need to learn as you continue to work remotely is the effect of celebration. So, how do you celebrate? And what effect does this have on yourself, your work, and your team? As you look at this, we're going to be listening in to Carol Dweck, who is a professor over at Stanford University. And Carol and her colleagues did a research because they were really keen on identifying what is the effect of celebration. So they gathered a group of students who are still learning, and they gave them a series of puzzles. So they gave them a series of easy, simple puzzles. And one group was told, wow, great job. You must be really smart at this. And another group was told, wow, great job. You must have worked really hard at this. So the researchers were trying to identify, which group is going to want to do more harder puzzles after they had completed the easy puzzles. And there's something interesting they found out about this research. So I want to ask you, so after the students were told, now we have some harder puzzles for you to solve, which group do you think wanted to go ahead and continue doing some harder puzzles? Was it the group that was told, hey, great job, you must be really smart at this? Or was it the group that was told, wow, great job, you must have worked really hard at this? So let's see. So I see a couple of people saying group 1, and I see others saying group 2, which is very good to see. We have a split there. So I would like us to hear directly from Professor Carol on what she has to say about this.
Ta-da! We also asked them, which problems do you want to work on some more? Those easier ones or those harder ones? And generally, we find that kids who've been praised for their intelligence really want to go back to those easier ones that were their claim to fame.
This is a sign of a fixed mindset. The belief that intelligence is innate and can't be changed.
What we found was that children thought that difficulty meant they weren't smart or they weren't good at the task.
So you seem to have more trouble with this one, and I want to know why you think that was.
Probably because I'm not good at these problems. A very discouraging conclusion.
Other children show a growth mindset.
The growth mindset is like this. No matter who you are, you can always become a great deal smarter. They feel smart when they're working really hard on something difficult and making progress.
So if I give you some more problems, would you like more problems like these that are pretty easy so you'll do well? Or problems like these that'll be hard but you might learn a lot from them?
These.
More like these?
Students praised for effort generally want those hard ones that they can learn from. What I've learned from my research is that kids, and I think adults too, are exquisitely sensitive
to what's going on in a situation, what other people value, what they're being judged on. What is that voice in our head saying? Is it saying fixed mindset things like, oh, you better not make a mistake, you better look smart, people are judging you? Or is it saying growth mindset things? Here's an opportunity, here's a mistake I can learn from. I feel smart when I do something difficult.
Yes, I feel smart when I do something difficult.
Ta-da.
Is that thing that I take home with me from this particular video. And that research really emphasized on the growth mindset. And what are some of the things that we can do as individuals and leaders of teams to ensure that we're emphasizing and praising effort as opposed to praising intelligence? And one of the things that is highly recommended is emphasizing on the process that accompanies the effort, such as seeking help from others, trying new strategies, and capitalizing on setbacks to move forward effectively. The other thing you can do for your team is to anticipate and plan for their potential. People are going to continue growing within your team, and you need to identify specific learning opportunities, create a plan with specific and timely goals to ensure that they are ready for their next level. Something else is to let the team know that you have their back so that even as they continue putting in the effort, in case they fail, they know that they can lean on you to continue growing. You need to provide the team with opportunities to solve problems on their own. As an individual, be realistic about time and effort. It takes time to learn, and therefore you need to schedule time within your routine to review and understand new concepts. Then experiment. Become a long life learner who is consistently looking for new things, new ideas, new ways of thinking. Pursue your craft and share your learnings widely. And finally, capitalize on your failures. It's not always going to look uphill. Sometimes you will fail, and you need to keep going in the face of adversity, adapt quickly, and push forward with conviction. Now, what is one of the things that your manager or somebody close to you has ever shared with you that you really felt that this person has really celebrated me? For me, I recently received this message from my manager. She sent it through an app we have here at work called Bonusly, where we recognize individuals on the day-to-day basis for collaborating with them. And what my manager, she's called Amy Reeb, said is at Patricia, really great teamwork this week on figuring out how to set up Asana, fix a ton of bugs, stroke workflows, and learn some new things from scratch. Couldn't have done it without you. I'm excited for all the help and automation this will provide us in the future. Keep up the good work, hashtag team players, hashtag ownership and accountability, hashtag innovate and simplify, and a very good GIF there that was also accompanied. And I wanted to note the keywords that she used, learning new things from scratch, and then all the help and automation. So a lot of emphasis on growth mindset, going towards the process, learning how to fix things, and ultimately achieving this workflow that we are able to build for our projects there. So anybody have a memorable celebration that you'd like to share about? It could have even been you celebrating a colleague. It could have been a colleague celebrating you. Could have been something that happened when you were in school and you thought that this was, something that emphasized on the growth mindset that I have. So I see a comment coming in from Jane, and she says that I recently did my end of year exams, and I was able to pass and graduate, and this is something that I really felt was special. Okay, Jane, I truly agree with you. Like, achieving that milestone must have been really special for you, being able to graduate. after you pass the exam must have been really special for you. So I see another one from Asma saying, celebrating my TOEFL and GMAT scores to get my scholarship in the US. Incredible. I know how difficult those exams can be, Asma. So very good to hear that you're able to go through with that and finally get a scholarship. Congratulations on that. Yes, so continue sharing your celebrations that you've had with yourself or with your team, with your colleagues. And I'm sure everybody in the chat section is going to be learning from that. Now, let's navigate to something else that really helps us when we are working remotely. And this is diversity and cross-cultural teams. And can you believe it that here in Andela, we have a representation of 110 countries, and this speaks highly of the diversity and the cross-cultural interactions that happen on a day-to-day basis. And one of the things we need to be really equipped with is cultural quotient. Just as we have EQ, I know you've heard of IQ, we also have CQ. And this is the ability to relate and work effectively across cultures. And it bears similarity to the term cultural agility. Now, CQ is divided into 4, and we are going to look at each of these elements. The first one being CQ drive. This is the confidence you have in your ability to function effectively in diverse cultural situations. We also have CQ strategy, and this is how a person understands and processes experiences that are culturally different from their own. We have CQ knowledge, a person's understanding of the similarities and differences between cultures. We have CQ action, and this is a person's ability to adapt their verbal and non-verbal behavior to match different cultures. And there's a lot of resources online when it comes to CQ, and I want to encourage you to do more studies so that you can learn how to interact across cultures even after this call. Some of the ways you can develop CQ in your day-to-day work is 1, learning holidays and important events. So we recently just had the World Cup, and this is a great point of, sharing with your colleagues. Maybe one of your colleagues was actually in a team that won or that participated. This can be a great point of conversation, getting to learn more about their culture and therefore building trust with them. Also, at time, you need to be extra mindful of the day and time you send messages or assign tasks. Luckily, nowadays we have very advanced technology in terms of messaging. Before you send out a message, you'll be able to see what time zone the other person is in, and you can also schedule a message so that they can see the message when they're up and working within their daytime zone. Always be observant in terms of news. In places where your teammates are located, try to find out what's happening during that time. Do they have elections, or is there something happening in terms of the weather and you need to check out or look out for them? So those are some of the things that you can do to continue developing your CQ. And last but definitely not least, you need to communicate and you need to learn and ask your team members about their preferred communication style. I'm going to be sharing my experience in terms of exposure culturally. Recently, early this year, I had the opportunity to travel to Nepal, and my teammates there bought me these awesome saris for me and my other colleagues. And they were able to teach us a lot about their culture, about different delicacies, about different songs. And having that type of experience enabled me to continue to experience my colleagues in a different way. It's never the same when you meet your colleagues and you actually are able to see them working in their day-to-day lives. It brings an entire new perspective, and I would really encourage you, if you have the opportunities to travel and meet your colleagues, please go for them. It really improves your working relationship with them. And I also got the opportunity to host my colleagues here in Kenya, and this was just a few months ago. They came in over from the UK, Nigeria, Uganda, Mexico, and we had an incredible time here. This time I was the host, and I was able to share with them and take them to a few places here in Nairobi so they could experience our culture, see the wildlife, and also have us build that working relationship too. Let me know if you've had the opportunity to travel and meet your colleagues and how that opportunity worked for you, because this is one of the ways that we build CQ, and it will be really interesting to hear how you've been building your CQ. If you haven't had the chance to travel, how is it that you've built your CQ with your colleagues in the location you're currently in, whether it's in the office, whether it's in your city, in your country? How do you continue to build CQ with your colleagues? I'll be looking out for that in the chat section. Now, CQ is a skill to build over the course of your life. So it's not a destination you get to in one day, 1 month, 1 year. It's a continuous journey. You continue to learn something new about new colleagues, the same colleagues, and it's something that you continue to also share. You continue to share with different people that you meet. And this is what I love about it, because it is an infinite journey of learning and continuing to share as well. Moving on to the very last tip I'll be sharing around remote working, and that is the power of rest. And this right here is a photo of an area near my home. This is a place called Ngong Hills. I believe there should be around 6 to 7 hills, if I'm not wrong. And it has these wonderful windmills where you can go, take a walk, relax. And this is something I like doing because of the ambience there, and it allows me to relax and to rest. And the power of rest is very keen, even as we work remotely. And some of the tips I would like to share here is determining your optimal work hours. One of the ways you can continue to incorporate rest into your routine. The other one is staying hydrated. Always ensure that you have your water next to you and you're sipping on that and drinking. Keeping your desk clean, because research has shown that removing clutter from your desk also tends to give you more space in your mind to be able to think and innovate. And finally, asking yourself, could this meeting be an email? So trying to determine what is most appropriate when you're meeting with your colleagues and which method will work most effectively. And which habits do you incorporate to ensure that you're resting? Let me know. I see someone saying, so Mike is saying that he ensures he takes breaks in between his schedule. I totally agree with that one. Asma is saying going out into nature. Yes, nature has a way of calming us. Michelle is saying ensuring to follow a particular routine, like a Pomodoro break. I agree. Pomodoro works very well because it does tell you when you need to take breaks. Yes, a very interesting one from Lashane. Ensure to exercise. Exercise also helps us stretch and sort of incorporate that break into our day-to-day schedule. Now, what is our call to action? What do we need to take away from this particular session? The first one is build trusting teams. As a leader of teams or an aspiring leader of teams, you now know that it's important to have trusting teams and how you can build those teams, especially if you're working remotely. The second one is find opportunities to celebrate. You can do that on a day-to-day basis. Look at that person who's helped you, who you've enjoyed working with, and celebrate them. And as you do that, ensure to emphasize on growth mindset, which is the process. The third one is appreciate cultural diversity, incorporate CQ ensure you're being assertive, looking out for ways to connect across different cultures. And finally, be very intentional about rest. See that you're incorporating different things in your routine to ensure that you're well rested. And that is what we had for today's session. It's been an honor having all of you here. And I do hope you'll continue to join our other sessions we have across our Andela pages. You can follow us on social media. Thank you all so much for participating today. Hope to see you during the next session.
Thank you very much, Patricia. That was an amazing session. It was full of great advice and ideas that we will certainly put into practice. And thank you very much, everybody, for attending. It was a great pleasure to have you all. And as Patricia said, remember that you can join future sessions. We will be very happy to have you. This session has been recorded, and you will be able to access it through the Women Series Session page and social media. So have a great day, and hope to see you soon in our next session.